So the guides wanted to introduce that again, as well as that finger exercise in combination to jog your memory, to help you to remember, to rejoin with that knowing, with your truth, with your core essence. Cool. This is always such a joy for me. It's some preparation, yeah, but it's always I get to be with my brothers and sisters. That's you guys. My teachers and guides have been saying for a while now, just in the last couple of weeks, that it's time to go back to basics, the basics of who we are as beings on this planet, to understand even more fully how to release pain and illness from our bodies. Why? Because it's time for mastery. They're saying it's time to grow up, time to stand up, and it's time to rise up. So we have some great assistants here today. When I was tuning into who was joining us today, they said, we are the named and the nameless. I thought that was really cool. Like, okay, but those that are named are or archangels, specifically Gabriel and Raphael are always here in with all of their power because they're very specific with our healing, especially Raphael, whose name means God heals. But if you have a favorite archangel, connect with them now here today. Metatron, who's considered to be the highest archangel, he shows me himself just as pure light. We also have Melchizedek. He was the foreshadowing of Jesus in the Old Testament. He actually brought bread and wine to Moses, and Jesus, the bread and wine in the New Testament. Okay. And we have the mothers, of course, Mother Mary, the Magdalene, Kuan Yin, and our benevolent galactic neighbors here. And of course, all of your teacher guides are here. So we have quite a gathering, quite a lot of loving beings supporting us here today. So let's start with something fun. I don't think I've ever done it here. I've done it on a YouTube video. By the way, that YouTube video was called, but I don't know how many of you follow me on YouTube. It's Deb Getz Medical Intuitive. In that video, I do this little exercise of how you can talk to yourselves and we're going to do that here today. But that video has like 175,000 views. I was just like astonished. Anyway, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to teach that to you right now. And this is all to prove one thing, that your body hears you and you are in command of it. Okay? So the fun part is we're going to take our two hands. You have two lines at the top of your wrists. Take those top lines and put them together. Make sure that they match as perfectly as you can. And now just bring your hands up into prayer position and you'll notice, look at your middle fingers. Is one shorter than another? Most of us can say yes. Some of us, they're the same. That's okay. So what we're going to do is, my right is slightly higher than my left. We're going to take the short hand, the hand with the shortest middle finger, and we're going to talk to it now. We're just going to love on it. We're just going to tell it how much we appreciate it. Thank you so much for working so hard for me all of these years. You helped me clap. You helped me wave goodbye. You helped me eat. You helped me get dressed. You helped me shower. You've been so supportive all of these years. Now, for those of you whose fingers were the same, speak to your dominant hand. Same thing, right? So if your middle fingers are the same height and you're right-handed, you're speaking to your right hand now. Thank you so much for working so hard for me, for being my pal through lifetime. I love clapping my hands. I love dressing myself and showering and eating and all the things that you helped me do. I love you. Now, put your hands back together. Match the top lines perfectly and put your hands back together. Did the short finger grow? Yeah? Yeah. You're a magician. See? That's simple. In 2 seconds, we caused our body to react from the love you're giving it. Pretty cool, huh? Now, if it didn't work for you this time, watch this again and just try it again. Again, without force, though, without expectation. You're just loving on your body. Okay? That's setting the stage for this whole class today, this whole group healing today, because I'm not the magician here. You individually are in command of your own body, and you just proved it. Let's see what's next. So feel free to share that with other people that you know. In fact, it'd be fun to do at a dinner party or something, wouldn't it? Teach everybody that exercise. Okay, so we're starting with that, and then I'll take you through a visual next of who or what you really are, along with a prayer of intentional and relational release. Then I'll talk about energetic, physical, and spiritual self-healing techniques, and we'll have Q&A in the end. Okay, simple. All right, so let's revisit who we are or what we are, because we want to come to know what we are, but not who. So let's peer into the structure of our reality, not with belief, but with divine intelligence. So I'm going to invite you now to just close your eyes for a bit. Just be here. Just breathe. Yeah, take a deep breath. Allow tension to drain now from your body. So we invite you to drop your shoulders. Open your hands if they're tight. Just open your hands. Put your feet on the floor beneath you. Let your jaw be loose. Your shoulders, your hips, your spine. Invite warm golden light now to enter down through your crown and slowly run like a river of warm honey through your spine. This beautiful warm golden light is descending down through the spine, all the way down, and allow this light now to magnetically collect all of the tension as it moves downward and out the base of your spine, and allow it to run then down into the heart of Mother Earth, allowing her to graciously take it and transmute it for you. And now open your eyes as I share my screen. So this is who and what you are, because you're not the body nor the mind, but the quantum field observing both. In the quantum preform field of source, you don't look like anything. For the realm of appearance is a distortion introduced by the collapse of wave potential into matter. In other words, you don't look like anything, but our realm that we live in is a distortion that was introduced by our light collapsing into matter. In source coherence, you're not seen, you're known. You're a field, not a face. as a source particle. Your architect reflects perfect symmetry in a spinning state. It reflects original energy potential. Your patterns of light that are synchronized in time and shape, forming stable and coherent structures of energy that organize reality. Fractalized divinity you are, echoing without distortion. You are a harmonic resonance of the I am field. You exist as Metatronic light body, a multidimensional toroidal intelligence vibrating in alignment with the pure harmonics of the Christ consciousness, the undivided fractal golden ratio encoded source field. This is your true face. Light without shadow, geometry without collapse, frequency without distortion, coherence without fragmentation, and awareness without identity. You are crystalline, not carbon-based, with a 12-strand DNA structure. This Merkaba spinning vehicle that's balanced, counter-rotating fields of electromagnetic light. Your consciousness expressed as tonal, radiant light, no longer dualistic, but of the threefold flame of field consciousness. You're a projector. You're not experiencing reality. You generate it. So receive that. Isn't that amazing? That's us. So the guides wanted to introduce that again, as well as that finger exercise in combination to jog your memory, to help you remember, to remember, to rejoin with that knowing, with your truth, with your core essence. Cool. So, what is healing really? So, healing isn't just restoration of our form, of our physical body. Because if we truly are energy beings that we just saw that are not encapsulated in a body, but that energy holds our physicality, right? So what causes the distortion is actually just, pain, illness, or disease is a distortion in that field, right? So what we want to do is realign that original geometry that you just witnessed, right? Or what some call our original blueprint, right? Because all illness, suffering, disease, fragmentation, and confusion result from that misaligned frequency. Caused by what? Our beliefs, our thoughts, whether they're ours originally or handed down through the ages by society, our programs. Anytime that we deviate from source, from that original blueprint, we distort the energy body. Okay. And in this state, the body can't operate as it was programmed to do. The cells become confused and they go awry, and then we have illness. Okay. So to heal, we must ask just ourselves, is my energy focused inward toward coherence that you just saw that image of, or am I focused outward into chaos? Because we definitely live in a chaotic, dense world. if we find that we are so too outward focused, here's some suggestions. We can begin with one simple action to recenter our spin. Silence. Remember, I often talk about, I think I used to talk about this more than I do now. Shutting down the generators. What are the generators? I'm not talking about your house. I'm talking about the exterior generators, your cell phone, your smartwatch, your computer, the television, the clocks on the wall, the appointments, the emails. Shut down the generators and be in silence. There's nothing that will realign you better than just being inward focused. Fasting is another suggestion. Why? And we've talked about this before. Because we're always answering the body's needs, the body's cravings, the body's wants, right? Well, it's good for a lot of things. Like when you're thirsty, the body has to tell you that you need fluids, right? But I'm talking about the eating when we're not hungry or whatever else our cravings are. When we pull back from serving the body in fasting, it pulls you inward, right? You're disciplining that outer cell. Okay. Another suggestion might be movement. So aligning your breath with movement. And I think that's why Tai Chi and um, Qigong and things like that are very, very helpful. These are recalibrators. They're recalibrating this back to stillness. Because the patterns we see outside of us are projections of our internal coding anyway. So every relationship, every trigger, every cycle or event reflects a sequence stored in our field. Let's take pain and illness, for example. We try to fight it, right? But instead, rather than fighting it, let's decode it. Like that question we asked, what have I done or what am I doing to pull that into my experience? What part of me agreed to this pattern, right? And then go inward and repattern it from the root, okay? To heal is to restructure that looking glass through which we view our lives and ourselves. So when we take ourselves inward and view ourselves as that beautiful spinning light, okay, well, I'm fragmented here somewhere. What happened? Why did I bring this in? Oh, and a memory might pop in, okay? Something that happened or something that you believe or really low self-esteem or something. So what do we do about that? Once you find that root of the distortion, how do you correct it? The AAL technique. It's my foundational technique, and so many of you know this, but let's do this now. What comes up for you when you ask yourself, oh, I have this, I don't know, you might have a pain or a depression or an anxiety or a illness or a disease right now. Just not in self-blaming. This is so opposite of self-blaming. Just ask self tenderly, okay, tender-hearted little one, what happened? What did we decide together? And whether something comes up or not for you right now, talk to it. Say, yeah, I know it's been really difficult, this life. It's not easy at all. And sometimes we get really upset and sometimes we get really confused about what's going on. But I tell you, anybody who's experienced anything that you've experienced would feel the same way. And it's all okay. I'm here with you. You're not alone. We're going to get through this. We've got this. And I love you. And what happened then isn't happening now. And it's all okay. It's safe here now. What happened? The body loves to hear this, you guys. What happened then isn't happening now. And it's safe here now. Safe to let go. It's safe to be free. It's safe to love. And it's safe to express yourself as yourself, no matter what that looks like. What happened then is no longer valid. Be free. I love you. Okay? That's what we do. And as you learned, and if you just repeated that along with me, imagine what happened inside your body. Because we saw externally, you talk to your hand that way, your fingers grow. So what just happened when you did that to your own inner self, your emotional body? You may have just had, somebody did. Oh, wow. Somebody did just experience a miracle. Many of you. Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's so good. Oh, I don't know if you have goosebumps, but I have everywhere. This is so good. Love heals, period. So if all you ever do for the rest of your life as far as self-healing goes and is the AAL technique, yay. So some basic energetic and self-care and self-healing would be to really check ourselves. This is something that the guide showed me just in the past year. You saw, and I hope that you got from that video that was just on, I hope that what you received from that is, oh my gosh, I'm sacred. I'm sacred. I'm all of that light and it's just pure. I'm sacred. Your energy body is sacred and respect that and hold it. Hold it. Hold it tightly. And in that doing so, when you interact with other people, stop bleeding out to them. Because what do? A friend comes and they'll tell you something, and it's like you just want to jump in and fix it, right? Or offer advice. Or somebody asks you, oh, can I borrow money? And whatever they're asking, come back here, go inside, hold your sacredness, and use your discernment. Because too often we just bleed out because we think that's love. But is it? Is it? This going inside and holding your sacredness, still honoring you, that's love. And then your heart will tell you, and through your discerning channels, whether to give. Or when somebody comes to you complaining with something and you just want to jump in with the solution, honor them as sacred beings as well, because they are. That light that you saw, that's you, that's me, that's them, that's Trump, that's everybody that we judge and criticize. Remember that. This is how we heal the universe. We want peace on earth. This is how to do it because we've lost respect. We've lost, and so you might say, well, some people don't deserve it. Well, they don't in our judgment, but they're also the light. We have to honor that. So somebody comes to you with a complaint out of respect for them. What would you like me to do? Do you want an answer, a solution, or would you just like me to listen? See, that's love. Love isn't just bombarding them. Because I think I've mentioned this before. I have friends who, when I'm talking about something, they'll just come in with a solution. And it's like, what if I just wanted to hear myself talk? So therefore, be careful even what you speak. Be careful with what you share. If you have a friend that just jumps in with everything that you say with an answer, a clever answer, go inside, hold yourself, in that honoring position of sacredness. Do I need to really share this? See? So you probably thought that I was just going to bombard you today with a whole bunch of techniques and, spinning lights and shamanic spiraling and all this other stuff. This is the back to basics that the guides were talking about. And it starts with being inside, honoring the sacredness. Okay, so think before you judge or criticize or speak. Basic emotional healing. So the emotions are the things that keep us most blocked from remembering our true essence and staying in that vibration. Everyone has trauma in some form or another. So why, you guys want to say a prayer of surrender? Okay. All right. God, this is total surrender. This is like emptying self. God, angels, whoever you want to send this out to, your higher self. I don't know anything, nothing. I lay myself before you in humility. I have no character. Instill your character in me. I have no morals. Instill your purity in me. I have no ideas. Instill your wisdom within me. I empty myself of myself. I hold nothing. Penetrate this dense physical body with your light and love for humanity. Amen. So be it. Now, when we were talking about relationships with other people, someone may have come to mind that hurt you in the past, or that you have a struggle with. Or if it didn't come to mind before, think now. Maybe the person that hurt you the most in this lifetime. Then we're going to perform a little ceremony by saying this prayer of forgiveness. So you can say this to God: I now release so-and-so from the burden of my judgment and pain. I realize that they showed up in my life, as did many others, revealing to me my deepest wounds that need to be healed. I take the burden of blame from them and release. This is mine to overcome. This is about me and no one else. The core wound is mine. It looms so large over me, God, that I can't heal it alone. Please assist me. I take full responsibility for my life and everything in it. I now empty the basket full of people that I've held responsible for how I feel, for who I am, for what I do, and for my love or lack of love for myself. I set everyone else free. If you feel up to it, some people aren't ready to do this, but if you feel ready to really release that other person, I'll offer you this prayer now. You're not going to envision them as the human. You're going to envision them as a soul sitting in front of you. They can be further away. Make it safe for you. and repeat the following. What happened was a very painful experience. And I'm sure in that process, I also hurt you. But I bless you now, freeing you from the contract of what I thought was my right to hold you responsible for my happiness and love of self. You're free to go, and you live your life devoid of my judgment and imposed responsibility. And so be it. Okay. Take a deep breath. Yeah, take a deep breath, take a drink of water. You might even want to shake it off. If you got triggered or experienced tightness in your body, shake it off. Yeah, you might even want to snap your fingers around your auric field, break up the energy, blow it on its way. Woohoo! Doesn't that feel good? Woo, you got chills up and down your spine, and now you are free. Yeah. That also was miraculous. Okay. So a little bit of spiritual, I don't know if you can call it healing, but it's knowledge. And it's a little bit of a quandary. Knowing that we are one with all, like the light that we just saw, it's really everyone. We're one with all, but we're individual fractals of the one. We're galactic, yet we feel that we have galactic helpers. We are angelic, yet we have angelic helpers, right? So it's a quandary, it's a question. It's like we want to know how it can be that we are both, yet not. I think that's one of the things that we try to work out in our minds through this ascension process. It's like how can we really all be one? We feel so individualized and so separate. But I have a good way of the guides showed me probably 25 years ago of viewing the body of Christ, let's say. You've heard of the body of Christ. Many people, some religions talk about it. I'm talking about it in a little different sense in that this was a really good way to envision unity and oneness, but yet our separateness. So envision, I always picture it lying down like a great big etheric body. I see it as androgynous, really, but it's kind of whitish and it's just this body laying still. And this is what the guide said. This is the body of Christ. This is unity, consciousness here, because if you envision and think of all the organs and glands in the body are parts of the universe, the planets and things like that, and all the space between is the atmosphere. Then the all the cells are you and me, right? And so you might be in the toenail of the body of Christ. You might be a cell in the toenail. You might be implanted in the heart. You might be part of the brain. You might be the love that runs the blood through the body, the heart. Right? So this is a good way, I believe, to understand this unity consciousness, that you are one, but you're the individual piece and part of it. So our job is what? Are we going to be a healthy cell or are we going to be a cancerous cell? What's our job here? What are we going to do to keep this body whole, healthy, and a love being? Let's really think about that. If you're a cell supporting the entire body, we want to be positive. We want to do our job because the cell in the big toenail, it's got a different job to do than the one that's up in the brain, right? Think of that as you individualized, you're pre-programmed. So, and find out if you don't know your core essence and your core purpose, and be that healthy cell. And stay inside and pay attention to the blueprint and the knowings of, okay, if I'm programmed to be that cell within the big toenail, what should I be doing right now? Oh, just breathing, just being. Okay, I can do that. I think I'll go to the ocean today and just chill, just relax and not worry and breathe. Do some Tai Chi, right? This is what we're talking about. That's to think about, huh? Now, physical self-care and physical healing, any moment that you can take your body out of stress is a healing moment. Right? The number one debilitator to health, to a cell in the body, number one debilitator is stress. Because every cell is pre-programmed, it knows exactly what to do. But when we tighten it up, we're suffocating the cells because it can't do what it's supposed to do. It's like imprisoning the cell. And then when we take deep breaths, when we attend class like this, when we shut down the generators, when we talk to our fingers, we're releasing them. When we do the AAL technique, the whole body can breathe again and do its job. Here's the other reminder too. What's the percentage of water within our body? 75, 80% water? You've all heard of Dr. Emoto's work, right? Bottles of water that he labels them with words like love, and labels one with hate, and freezes molecules of those water molecules, and the one with love is a beautiful snowflake type figure, and the one that the word hate on it is distorted. Honeys, that's what's inside your. What are you saying to yourself? I love you. It's okay. Anybody who's been through what you've been through would feel just the same way, but you're safe now. You're safe, and I love you. See? All that water in your body is going to come alive into these beautiful little snowflake patterns and start working together and doing their job, healing the body, right? I can't wait till we meet next time because you're all going to be sparkling, brand new, shiny beings. I won't be able to even look at the screen because you'll all just be shining so bright. This is the basis of all self-healing. And this may very well be why some healing sessions don't work or have, as a healer, I do sessions for people, or did in the past, and people would say, well, I felt really good for 3 days, and then afterwards, it all came back. Well, I've often questioned, could this be why? They lost the vibration, but that's also why we send the recording. Listen to it again and again and again and again because you're in that frequency, keeping it entrained so that we don't fall back into the illness. Also, um, if there's if we don't correct our thoughts and programming and beliefs, gonna just stay the way we are, right? Something needs to shift inside. And it's only us. That's why, that's what I teach is that, I don't heal anybody. I just guide the other person to their own healing. And then it's kind of up to them to maintain that too, right? And this isn't a bad, I'm not saying anybody's bad or did something wrong if they didn't experience healing. I'm not perfect. I still struggle with my stuff. Did you ever have diverticulitis? I get that sometime. That's the vulnerable spot in my body is the over on the left side of my colon. And every time it flares up, I have to say, oops, now what did I do? And I always look back and say, geez, when am I going to let that go? God, I would put myself under so much stress about that situation. It's like, and I'm learning now. See? So, like I said, I don't have a magic wand. I'm not a magician. We're all the magicians for our own body. We're in charge. We're the commanders of this that's going on, and we're the only ones that can control it. You can be guided there. If you have somebody that loves you through everything, that's wonderful. That's very healing. But those of us who don't, and let's just take full responsibility for everything. On another note with physical healing, I was just talking about someone who can love you through things and maybe give you a hug. But I also think it's important to be able to touch yourself. Did you ever just not, and I don't mean just grab yourself and hug yourself. I mean just really gently and slowly just run your hands up your face and your temples and through your hair and just be really gentle with yourself. The back of your head. Just run your fingers through your hair. Just run your hands over your heart and your chest wall and the back of your neck. Talk about self-love. Talk about healing. Whew, when you do that, your world changes. That just shifted me. So don't forget that. You're the most important person on earth to love. Yeah. And then another tool would be to breathe. There's so many of us, like myself, who are shallow breathers, especially when you're deep in thought or trying to figure something out, or you're writing something down or thinking of something that's going to happen that you got to hurry. What's our breathing like? Our cells need oxygen. Yep, they do. So oxygenate your body. Go for brisk walks. If you can't, just breathe. Stretch. When you stretch your body and it causes you to take deep breaths and yawn, that's the best way to oxygenate your body. And now some mental self-care. If the mind, what we learned is our thoughts, our programming, our beliefs cause distortions in our field. So we know now how powerful our minds are, right? So if our minds are that powerful enough to cause distortions and illness in our bodies, then aren't we also powerful enough to shift that the opposite direction? Sometimes it feels like hard work. Okay, well, I've been too stressed. I caused myself diverticulitis, and now how do I undo this now? Oh, I have these habits of falling into that stress or you know, again, stop yourself, go inside, affirm. How about this affirmation? St. Germain's responsible for this one, gave to me years ago. Ooh, I am the transmutational power of the violet flame. I am the transmutational power of the violet flame. I am the transmutational power of that violet flame, and then watch it flare up within you, around you. When that was first given to me many, many years ago, and I just thought, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm going to repeat that just throughout my day. When I went to bed that night, I could not fall asleep. I raised my vibrations so high. with that simple mantra. I'll say it again for those of you writing it down. I am the transmutational power. In other words, you're the one who transmutes what's going on inside. I am the transmutational power of the violet flame. I found this to be so transformative, and it brings you joy. It just seems to bring keeps you in the present moment, number one, which is going to keep your field clear, which is going to keep you in joy, and it's going to keep you in health or correct what's already, anything going on in the body. Right? Good stuff. We might need to watch this one again. So now, remember the video that we watched of all of your light, your spinning geometry? One way to help maintain that as a reminder, envision, and I might have talked about this before here, I'm not sure, so forgive me if I did, but you know that you have a spinning Merkaba around your body, right? The upper one, it's a star tetrahedron. The upper pyramid points upward. The lower one points downward, and they spin in opposite directions, okay? So if this is you, what if the distortions cause a wobble in the Merkaba? I'm going to give you a tool right now to keep it stable. And that is just like a spinning top. Oh, this is cool. This is a good analogy. Did you ever have a top when you were little and you kind of pump it and the thing spins around? Why? Because it has an axis. So now in your Merkaba field right now, I want you to create an axis that runs up through your central core. So you can start it at the base and run it up through your chakras, up through the central core and out your crown, take it all the way up to the heavens, to the highest, to source, and then take it all the way down, breaking through the base chakra and down through the earth and to the core of Mother Earth. And you can picture this. I picture mine as maybe a ½ inch in diameter, and it's a perfectly shiny steel, silver rod. Why did I pick steel? Because you can't bend it or break it. Right? So that stabilizes your frequency. And if you wake up every day and set that in place or check it to make sure it's stable and in place and start your Merkaba just with a gentle spin to start your day, imagine how great your day is going to be. Imagine how stabilized your frequency will be so that we are able to catch ourselves before we speak, before we slip, before we judge, before we criticize, right? Because you're just a stable spin as a fractalized piece of source. Now that's your truth. And then as you do so, you can instruct the body, the self, by saying, I realign all subharmonic codes to this Metatronic octave of living light. I'm source in motion. I realign all subharmonic, anything that isn't in harmony, okay? I realign all subharmonic codes to the Metatronic octave of living light. I am source in motion. How do we get that to every soul on the planet? If we can send that to every soul on the planet, we're going to live in a different world. It starts with us, though, one heart at a time. So as you allow that, your Merkaba, your geometry to spin, it will rewrite emotional and physical trauma by reframing your memory of it. Then cells will retrain themselves to harmony. Mhm. Another tool. Do you have too many? Do you want more? You want, we'll keep going. Okay. I think I made have, there's just um, one more. I think I've talked about this before. Did you know that because you're so powerful, that if you have pain, illness, or disease, or feel depressed or anxious or tightened up, that you've heard of Western medicine, right? Pharmaceuticals. Okay. You can create your own energetic ones. Because whatever Western medicine can do, we can do. Okay? Only better, bigger, more. Because we can massage ourselves inside of our bodies, and Western medicine can't do that. We can, anyway. So, um, I think I did talk about this before. One time I felt so really, really anxious, and I haven't done this in a while. I felt really anxious, and I thought, oh my God, I don't know how to settle myself down. I wish I had some of that, whatever people take. Well, weed for one thing, or CBD, or Prozac, or whatever that is. So if I could have some of that right now, I would take it. And they said, well, create your own. It's like, okay. So I just imagined a little pill and put it in my system, and it worked. This world is energetic first before it's physical. You are the alchemist. You can do that. You want a pain reliever and you don't have any aspirin, or you don't, whatever you usually take as a pain reliever. If you're in really, really bad pain, and if you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself, call in Saint Germain or your favorite avatar and ask them to help you create this concoction, and then put it inside your body and you will shift. See, everything's energetic. Your pills that you get from the pharmacy have an energy to them. Only now you can create your own energetically, take it, and you're not harming your body. Right? All right. It works. To avoid picking up other people's energy would be the number one thing to your steel rod. You might want to give it a prettier name, but the steel rod going from heavens to down through the earth, and the Merkaba spinning. If you just walk around with that pillar so strong and so filled with light, that eventually, that with enough practice, that causes you to just really truly be the observer. Remember, in that stability of my purity, I'm sacred, that kind of stance, that won't happen anymore where we pick up other people's energy. When we do, however, and um, it can feel difficult sometimes, can't it, to let that go? And we want it to be instant. The tool that I often use is the angelic light net, and you guys have experienced that. It looks like a dream catcher with netting in between, and I started out 25 years ago using a screen, because that's what I saw. You know, those old wooden screens that you'd put up on a house in the summer. You know, you take down the storm windows and put up the screen. Okay, I would see one of those, and it would just run through my body and through my energy field. And I'd ran it in four different directions: left to right to left, bottom up, top down, and just cleanse it all, clear it all, and picturing the netting in the angelic light net or in your screen. Picture that as bug zappers, where it's just boop, boop, you know, zapping off anything that's not yours. And then there's also Archangel Michael. You can have him cut cords, but I think that's a little barbaric. I think we're softening all the cutting and stomping and all that kind of stuff. It's done now with a lot more love. So rather than put a sword through the energy between the two of you, put a big, beautiful magenta beating heart. You know, so anything that transfers between you and the other person can only be filled with sweetness and love. Did that answer your question,
That's
Carmen?
perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, you're welcome. Anybody else? Okay. Well, on that note, I think I'll say goodbye for now. I want to thank you for joining me, but keep in mind, remember, mark your calendar because we're going to be introduced to, meet, and connect with some galactics that are coming through to join with us, and they're going to be bringing us the pods again. So they're being brought back again to us the first week in November. I believe that's November 5th. Ah, you guys, thank you again for joining me. It's always very sweet time for me to see you and connect with you and commune with you. So until then, lots of love. Bye-bye.